Monday, start of a new week, and it's just about 1 o'clock or close enough to it. And it is also March 18th, 2024. Tomorrow is officially the start of spring. I mentioned before, technically, meteorologically, I'm so happy when that word comes out, okay? Um, it begins March 1st. This is, scientifically speaking, when uh, the warming trend reaches a point where they officially say it's spring, unofficially say it's spring. Officially, spring, it's also based upon the Gregorian calendar. I don't know the difference between this calendar and the Gregorian calendar to tell you why one over the other. Um, I don't want to start a debate. I don't want somebody coming in and saying I'm a Gregorian guy, 100% all the way. Don't you dare speak ill of the Gregorian channel, of the Gregorian calendar. Um, I always appreciate the beginning of March, thinking of it as spring, because I'm always ready for spring. I've settled into winter. Um, you know, several years it was matching my depression. It was making it a little more intense, a little deeper. But the past few years, things have lightened up considerably, even with winter. Um, it's just a different mood. It's a different energy. You settle into it and you ride it out and you appreciate it for what it offers. Um, as all things have something to teach us, something to open us up, something to enlighten us. Opening us up is important. The only way you learn to open up to things is, one, to get broken. As Leonard Cohen sang, uh, everything is made to be broken because that's how the light gets in. Um, but it's not always pleasant, of course. But we get very rigid through life, very rigid in our thoughts and our beliefs and our thinking, in the patterns that we hold. And it's reflected in our body. The other day, I wrote about and read about Sukhasana, easy pose, which is the yogic meditation pose. It's just a simple cross-legged pose. It's not complicated. It's um, it's not like lotus pose or half lotus or auspicious pose. Um, Sukhasana is called the easy pose because it's easy. However, it was easy. It was easy when we were kids, when we were unrestricted and unbound. We were flexible, not just in our bodies, but in our minds. We weren't born biased. We weren't born racist. We weren't born prejudiced. We weren't born closed minded. We were born as a sponge, taking in life, everything new, everything exciting. And somewhere, and we sat that way. We sat that way, cross legged, in an easy posture. And somewhere through life, we got very rigid. This is the way things are. This is the way things should be. This is what my parents told me. This is what my siblings told me. This is what my teachers told me. This is what I saw on TV. This is what I read in the book. And I believe it. And there we are. We're stuck. And Sanskrit, yogic philosophy, Vedic psychology, um, and Buddhist psychology as well. It's called a samkara. Samkara are those neurological pathways, emotional imprints that is our response to life. We have a response to everything, and we do it over and over and over again until it's our ingrained behavior towards everything, and we never realize it. I always say, the true conspiracy is the conspiracy we have against ourselves, that we don't see that we're ignorant. And again, in Sanskrit, in yogic psychology, it's called advidya, ignorance. We don't see that we are conditioned by our prejudice, by our attractions, by our um, aversions, by our fear of death, all of these things. Uh, and then the number one is simply being ignorant that all that's occurring. when you meditate, when you do some breath work, when you lie down in yoga nidra, even when you practice your asanas, your mind expands and you start to see those mental imprints and you become calmer. Um, you don't easily give in to those neurological firings that are saying react, react, react. Now you've become responsive. And as I always love to point out, I absolutely love the word responsibility in its original intent, our ability to respond versus our reactivity. Reactivity involves um, no space, no silence, no openness. It's just bam, you're there, fight or flight. You're in the sympathetic nervous state. Responsibility means that we are taking time, we're responding, thoughtful, considerate, compassionate, empathetic. That's where yoga brings you. That's the path of yoga. You learn to navigate life happier, more respectful towards others. Um, you know what? I just paused for a second, thinking, how did I get from talking about spring to yogic psychology? It all ties together somehow. But tomorrow's first day, official day of spring. It is the equinox. It is when the sun is the proper distance as the earth travels around. We are the proper distance that we can officially call it spring. Stars are aligned perfectly so to bring it. I love spring, particularly mid to late spring, what I like to call the greenening of the world. Everything turns that intense shade of green to let you know that life is thriving. Life is in its beginningness all around us. Soon, the geese in my neighborhood will be laying and hatching the eggs. I think the eggs might already be hatched. Um, and the goslings will be out and the geese will be super aggressive. Another sign of spring. When I'm confronted by geese on my early morning walks, my every walk and every run, actually, we have a lot of geese in the neighborhood. And yes, they are aggressive. And you know why? The trait, the motherhood trait, but even the males, because they are flooded by hormones, that intenseness of the hormones being released because they feel that you are threatening their loved ones, threatening their goslings, their babies. Understandable. It's the same that they have that reactivity certain time of the year when their eggs have hatched, when the goslings are out, uh, the geese are extremely defensive. That's the pattern that they know. Not any different for us, except we're not geese. But we are defending our thought process. We're defending our beliefs. We're defending our identity, who and what we think we are, and never taking the time to question it because we're flooded by that reactivity. We're flooded by the defense. We could call it neurologically speaking, default network. It's where we go. It's our default mode. We fall into it over and over and over again. However, we can we can erase it. We can lighten it up. And again, that goes back to yoga. So there, I tied together um, yoga and the beginning of spring. Not exactly sure how I did it, but I did. Um, so I just came from Mayhem and Miracles, who has the YouTube channel. And she's Canadian. I met her on James Gype, who is another YouTube channel friend who is helping people, just making friends making friends. Mayhem and Miracles gave me a bit of an education on going live, or maybe really just helped confirm some things, what this is all about. Um, and it is all about making connections, making friends. It also got me thinking of Tantra, particularly from the perspective, Tibetan Buddhism perspective, as well as Kashmir Saivism perspective, that yogic perspective. Someone asked me, I had some people who it appeared that they were here on my channel when I was live, um, and they were trolling, or so it was pointed out. And someone mentioned, well, you handled that well. And I think it's because, one, don't take anything as trolling. People are just putting out energy, and they're putting out whatever energy, whatever place they are at this time. Does that mean that if I am uh, not going with a higher or lower energy level, but let's say that you are vibrating at a specific pattern, specific rate, should you lower yourself down to engage with people who are offering negativity? When you communicate with them, does that mean that you're lowering yourself down? Not at all. It means that you're rising everything up. That you are, to lower down means that I would scold, that I would point my finger, that I would get defensive and say, how dare you? How dare you come to my channel and act this way? Or question me, or insult me. That would be someone saying, you're lowering yourself down to their energy level. I do my best not to see it that way. If you have a conversation, then in order to keep that conversation going, the entire vibratory rate of the conversation is raised across the board to everyone. And when it happens, when everyone's having fun, even if people are still being dickish, it's still fun. And everyone comes away feeling a little better. That's my approach, at least. And I enjoy everyone who comes by on the channel, and we chat and we have a good time. Some days it's a few, some days not any. It's all okay. I'm really getting an eye opener on YouTube for what I want to accomplish. And to go about that, you dive in, you explore other people's channels, you support them, you share their stuff out, you watch a little bit of their videos as much as you can with the amount of time that you have, and you just help other people. What a great, great opportunity. It's the same with going live, that it becomes an art form. The entire experience on YouTube for me, a long time ago, I decided, one, that I was going to write. And that was, I have always wanted to be a writer. And in the 90s, I was a struggling writer, meaning that I would write when I was inspired, and then spend a large amount of time uninspired and unable to write. And then I would suffer in inspiration's absence. I would drink, and I would say that's living the artist lifestyle, that you inspire, and then you're inspired, and then you head downwards into that depressive state in between, and you drink to numb the pain. What a ridiculous way to go through life, in my opinion. Some people can't help it. It's the nature of art and artist for some time, until you realize there's another way, that inspiration is ever present, never absent. Sometimes you have to wait for it. Sometimes you have to abide in silence because that's where everything incubates. That's where everything um, is in the state of becoming. So you don't think of emptiness or silence as being empty of, you think of it as empty for. That's the potentiality of everything. That it's a wonderful place to be in that emptiness because that means you are the capacity that's there to serve. You're there to serve inspiration. You're there to serve your own creative intent. You're there to serve other people. It's a life of service. We can call it karma yoga, the yoga of being in service for others. And you know what? It doesn't exclude you because you are an other, um, so to speak. Although I do like um, Ramana Maharishi's view when he was asked, how do we treat others? And he said, there are no others. It was such a beautiful reply. Um, but we are in service to everyone and we are in everyone. So by practicing that karma yoga, by being in service, by going on YouTube and exploring other people's channels, especially those who are trying to make a living, earn some extra income, or just be creative, or just make the world a little better, more beautiful, funner, happier, joyful place. You do what you can for them. So, mentioning writing, and I wanted to be a writer. When I finally quit drinking, 1999, I believe, um, and my meditation practice had been deepening through the years, I got the clear insight that in order to be a writer, you write every day without making excuses. I don't feel like it. I'm not inspired. I have nothing to write about. I just wrote yesterday. You write every day. Does it have to be great? Nope. Does it have to please anyone besides yourself? Guess what? It doesn't even have to please yourself. It just have to be words on a paper, words on a screen. That's it. It only has to have meaning for you. So I've written every day for 25 years. Um, and I've been sharing a lot of it on YouTube. I've had a blog for 20 plus years. I've self-published several books. Um, but when the advent of social media, I came to the decision, not that clear cut, where, 1 minute you don't know it, the next moment you do know it, um, but more like I slid into the thought pattern of, I'm going to make life my art, all of life. Social media is a wonderful way of doing it. That I can highlight my struggles, I can highlight my joy, I can highlight my creativity, my creative process, my lack of creativity. Um, I can just share myself because life is truly art. It's a creative expression. You think the entire universe coming from nothing and now being this, and at the same time is already becoming something other, moment by moment by moment. Absolutely incredible. So why not make it the same with YouTube? A creative expression. And only you can do it. It's your own creative expression. It doesn't have to match anyone else's. What a great opportunity to be yourself and to offer that to others. This is me. I'm here in all my glorious awkwardness and all of my stumbling and choking over words and all of my um, halting thought patterns, thought methods, thought whatever, places of silence. It's just you. You put it out there. Um, Unafraid to be judged, unafraid to be mocked, unafraid to have people show up and try to rowdy you because they will. Make yourself rattle proof. My methods, my means might not be yours. I meditate. Just say I practice yoga because um, the practice of yoga is I've mentioned this before, the Eightfold Path. I mention it all the time, actually. The Eightfold Path of yoga. You have your yamas and your niyamas, 5 of each. Those are the ethical restraints we willfully place upon ourselves: non-harm, non-stealing, non-hoarding. We have the personal observances, um, cleanliness, surrender, self-study. We have the asanas, physical postures. We have pranayama, breath work. Um, I'm trying to pronounce your name. That's what I'm doing. Jonas Gaming? Jonas, am I saying that right? Um, and if I'm not saying it right, I apologize. I do my best to pronounce everyone's name as good as I can, as well as I can, knowing fully that I'm going to mess up probably 90% of the name. Unless your name is Bob or John, um, I'm going to mess it up probably 9 times out of 10. Uh, and hi to you as well. And to answer, what are you doing? I'm just talking, rambling on. Um, Appreciate you being here. Gives me someone to talk to besides myself. Um, and I'm talking about creativity and YouTube and um, yoga and springtime and the Gregorian channel calendar, tying it all together. Where are you from? I'm from Columbia, Maryland, which is almost in the middle between Baltimore and DC. Uh, Beautiful, small, suburban. It's considered a planned city, put together in 1967 by James Rouse. James Rouse is the grandfather of the actor Edward Norton, who was in American History X and Fight Club. He was the original, well, not the original. Bill Bixby was the original Hulk. But he was in the first Incredible Hulk movie, Bruce Banner, or David Banner. I forget. Originally in the comics, he was Bruce Banner. They didn't like the name Bruce, so they changed it to David. My friend Destiny is here. Happy Monday and blessings. Just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. How are you, Eric? It's funny that your lesson. It's funny that you lesson more when you talk to yourself. um, I hadn't noticed that, but you know what? You're right when I think about it. And Destiny is greeting our new friend. So, yoga, the entire path of yoga. I think I left off with pranayama, breath work, and then we go to pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. Very important because we live in a world and a society of outward things, of objects, and everything grabs for our attention, and we never get a break. We're always on the go. We always have a screen in front of us. We always are watchful of what's going around us. We don't take that time to turn inwards, which again is just an invaluable experience. Um, and there's several means of practicing pratyahara. My favorite, some breath work that help you turn inwards anytime you close your eyes, alternate nostril breathing, um, box breathing, all those things that force you to pay attention to the breath, which is an internal process. But also yoga nidra, which I talk about quite often, which is called yogic or psychic sleep, where you are guided, a voice guides you into that state in between sleep and wakefulness. We've all been there as we're falling asleep. We're there every night. There's that one little slice where we spend some time. Sometimes it happens so quickly we don't notice it, but Yoga Nidra guides us and keeps us in that place. This is where magic happens. If you place an intent, if you make a wish, if you have a resolve, in Sanskrit it's called sankalpa, which means resolve and intent. If you place it in that little slice between wakefulness and sleep, then you're sending it out to the universe, and the entire universe conspires to come to your aid. Destiny says, I learn more lessons and new ways of doing things when I talk to myself and take the advice of my inner man. It's a good way of thinking of it, Destiny. It does help because you're free flowing. You're saying some things that you might not say when you're talking with others. I do my best. I'm going to tie this all together. One of the original topics, it's all been one topic, but taking many aspects, many facets to it. And really, the topic's been YouTube and YouTube channels and the art of YouTube, of presenting yourself, being authentic. Being authentic means showing up, putting the camera on yourself, and talking regardless, the same way. If 10 people are watching, 19 people are watching, 99 people are watching, or 0 people are watching, you offer what you offer. You put it out there. And that's what I mean by that. YouTube really gives everyone the opportunity to be their own artist, to take Gandhi's advice, be the message you want to see in the world. So, again, tying it back to if people show up and they try to troll, they make some what might seem as derogatory comments. If I respond in kind, am I being the message that I want to see in the world? Absolutely not. It means that I am deciding I'd rather vibrate at a lower level, a lower frequency, than where I would rather be. Before I go on YouTube, I generally do just a little self-reflection. I breathe a bit, not any formal pranayama, not any formal breath work, but just getting in touch with my breath. The easy touch of air on the nose, the release, the belly rising, the belly falling, just being watchful, being mindful, and letting it all go. And then you come here, you're in this positive state. Now here, Smitty Deuces, 187, Smitty. I'm always glad you're here. I'm always happy when Destiny's here as well. I appreciate your company. That Smitty says, sup bro, here for support. I hit the like and share, but I can't stay, but I'll keep my phone on and watch. Thank you for everything. And when I pop in for advice you give, I appreciate that. And I do want to mention you sum up, you and Destiny both sum up 100% of what I was talking about. You're a community. You help, you aid. You have your goals. You want to go grow your channel. You want this many subscribers. You want to reach this many people. And the way you go about it, helping other people and putting great content out. Of all the gamers that I visit, not to play favorites, but Smitty's channel is my favorite. Because it's not just gaming, they're having fun. It's full of joy. It can be intense watching, but these are people who enjoy what they do. And there's nothing better than that in life than getting to experience someone who finds a deep, deep joy in the things of life that they love. That's why it's Smitty's channel has my 100% support. That's why Destiny's channel has my 100% support. And that's why my friend Brian Lane has my 100% support. Brian's someone, as I mentioned quite often, uh, he has been through the fires and he has come out a better person for it. Was that enough for him? He could have stayed quiet and just concentrated on himself. Instead, he opened himself up and he's sharing the art and skill of Brian Lane, which no one else can do. No one has been through the stuff that he's been through. People have been through similar, but we all have our own particular story. And instead of retreating from the world, again, Brian puts it out there. He does his burpees. He shares his meditation tips. He shares his glimpses of nature. When I came across his channel, I knew instantly that this is someone I wanted to support. When I came across Destiny's channel, I thought, this is someone who knows what it's like to live a life of joy. Doesn't discount any sorrows that she might have encountered. We all have at some time in our life. We've all grieved for something. We've all been down for whatever reason. That doesn't diminish the joy. If anything, it enhances the joy because you truly know and you can truly open yourself up to other people. That's what I mean, and that's what Leonard Cohen sang about when he said that we're meant to be broken because that's how the light gets in. Brian says, thanks, brother. Hope everyone is having a blessed day here. I'm having a pretty good day. I mentioned before I was over at Mayhem and Miracles, and she's actually still up. I have her up and I pop in every so often. And I left her live session feeling really inspired about YouTube. And she talked about how she got watch hours going live and talking and putting out positive energy, which is what I've been trying to do. I don't even remember why. This was last summer. I got the urge to go live. I didn't really view other people's live stuff, but there was an urge. There was that angel that Destiny and I have talked about whispering in my ear, expand. And the way I knew how to do it, talk about the things I love, share the things I love. Go on YouTube, hit the live button, and just talking about the things that I love. It's all I can do. That's why, I say I'm not a teacher. Even though I do have the teaching certificates for the things that I talk about, I just want to share the things that I have a passion for. Yoga, nature, science, spirituality, whatever we mean by spirituality. Of course, burpees. It all ties together. To me, it's all yoga. All of it. Brian says, yeah, I'm still trying to get used to doing the videos. Sometimes I had to fog and didn't get everything I wanted, but I'm doing my best. You're doing great, Brian, and you cover what you want to cover. You can do a live session sometime. Live session gives you that unlimited time to talk about whatever comes up. And trust me, man, I make mistakes every live session. I stumble over words. I mispronounce names. It's all part of the game. Think of it as art. And in Japanese Zen culture, they call it wabi-sabi, which is the inherent beauty in every mistake, or every seeming mistake. Because if it adds to the beauty, it's not really a mistake. It can only appear to be a mistake. And appearances, as we know, can be deceiving. Destiny says, fellowship of beingness brings connectedness. It certainly does. and the same like mindfulness interests. It's the whole universe. They're a big oneness, and that big oneness is divine fellowship. I agree 100%, as I always do with Destiny. Um, that's been the big revelation for me with um, YouTube, is just sharing, 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 reaching out to other people, connecting, realizing that divine oneness that Destiny is talking about, which is, we see it, we experience it, we know it. Sometimes we forget it. YouTube's a perfect place to remind ourselves. Destiny says hello to Brian and happy Monday, asking how he is. And Brian says he's doing fine. And our friend, it is what it is here with a good morning YouTube family and saying hi to everyone. And Lewis is another one, got an awesome message. Once a year, this is the sacrifice Lewis makes. Once a year, he gets fat for you guys. And then he shows up and he shows you how to get it done. Rep by rep by rep, eating right, getting healthy. My belief is that when Lewis does take that time to get fat, he doesn't want to eat that donut. He doesn't want to eat the pizza. He doesn't want to eat the burger. He's doing it for you. And then he suffers for 9 months, 9 months of burpees. Is it 3 months of relaxing and then 9 months of burpees? 9 months of training, 9 months of a strict diet. Let's see. Brian says, Eric, I was someone in school who struggled. I went through a special school district in grade school. It is what it is, says, yes, I do. Brian, I can relate to that. I had my some issues as well. I suffered a speech impediment growing up that I was with Mocha. It's been 22 years, and she probably didn't know. I saw a speech therapist, relentlessly teased, and I don't think I even told her until 20 years into the relationship that I feel like I should open up and let her know. Lewis says, sometimes I don't think people understand that. I want to show people that it's very possible. And you do. You know what? It's because I think people might miss the beginning of the journey and they tune in. They tune in when they see Mr. Five Pump has made an appearance, which to me, it's always awesome to see that, but it misses the point as well, because you don't start out as Mr. Five Pump. And this time around, you didn't even start out as Mr. One Pump. You started out with a struggle. You had to step back into your burpee. You had to relearn how to do one pumps. You should. I definitely hope you highlight that sometime, like a live session, or do a video where you show people that, hey, this is where I was this year. I know you mentioned it on a video just the other day, but if there was a clip of you stepping back and doing your burpees, and seeing that progression all in one 3-minute video, the highlights of 2024, I think that would be big. Brian says, yeah, Lewis, doing a great job with the burpees. It is what it is. Says, appreciate that, Brian. I've included burpees like so many since 2020. Destiny says, Brian, look where you are today. All that you have learned. Um, it's our weakness, disabilities, and not knowing life lessons that create our success and greatness. And I agree with that as well. Who would we be without our journey? We all have one. We're all continuing on one. It is what it is. Says that's a great idea, Eric. I should try that for sure. Yeah, because I think people miss that big picture. But if you condensed it where everyone could see, um, that would be pretty amazing. So one of the ways Mayhem and Miracles talked about getting her watch hours is live sessions. She would do 2 hours a day talking, which is absolutely amazing. I've been talking nonstop for 40 minutes and I'm exhausted. James Skype is the same. He'll talk for an hour plus. I gotta say though, I really do love the live sessions because I take it as an art form. What can I say? How can I say it? Who can I say it to? And everyone who shows up is part of the art. They're part of the creative process, which is why again I don't think of anyone as a troll. I think everyone as bringing me something. Everyone's offering a gift. Is it always a gift that I want? No, but it's a gift that I have. How I respond is part of the art. If I were to react, it doesn't become artful anymore. It becomes a mess because I'm just reacting. I'm defensive. I'm acting from that ego point of view. How dare you come here and say that about me? Yesterday, someone came on and said, that guy looks like Stephen Hawking's. And I thought, what an incredible compliment. This person just said I look like one of the most brilliant guys ever in history. And they didn't mean it that way. But had I got defensive, it would just be an ego standpoint of, again, how dare you? How dare you think differently than me? And what would be the point of that? What would that accomplish? By just laughing, engaging with them, being playful over the whole thing, you make something beautiful of it. They might not think so. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you create here in the space that we're sharing. And that's why I appreciate when you guys show up, because then the space that we're sharing becomes something different. It's filled with goodness. It's filled with good people putting out good stuff. Let's see, Brian says, yesterday I said to myself, most people go to the gym and train, and I did mine by the stream on stone barefoot. You have the spirit of the Tao. You have the spirit of the Taoist, Brian, connecting to the earth. You can only do that bare feet, outside, breathing in clean air, hearing the stream. Brian says, yeah, reacting doesn't help. I'm working on this, Eric. The key is you can't keep yourself from reacting. But what you can do is open up the doors to responding, where you just keep opening and expanding and opening and expanding, allowing and allowing and allowing. When you get to that point where everything is allowed, then what are you reacting to? Because it's allowed. Doesn't mean I have to like it. It's not about liking. Um, I talked before that there's an author who wrote in the 70s the Handbook to Higher Consciousness, Ken Keyes. Um, one of the most joyful, positive people you could ever listen to. And I would listen to him on the radio. I would listen to him on some tapes that I had at the time. One day I saw him on television and I didn't realize he was paralyzed from the neck down from childhood polio. And he never mentioned it, never talked about it. He wasn't someone who said, I've overcome my problems and this is what I'm here to teach you. He didn't see himself as having problems. And the way he did it, he offered an easy one-step method of Buddhism, which is take your demands, and we all have our demands, whether we realize them or not. I demand everyone be polite and kind to me when they come into my YouTube chat. I demand that every line that I stand in be shorter. I demand that this traffic jam goes faster. I demand that I get paid more. I demand. And I go through life making these demands. I want my spouse to do this. I want dinner on this time. I want to eat this way. I don't want you to eat this way. And you see that in many vegans. And I can say that being a 16-year plus vegan now. So demands, we all have them. But what if we took our demands and we just upgraded them to preferences? How much easier life would be. I'd prefer people be kind. I prefer people to be plant-based. I would prefer people, whatever, this line to be shorter. I can deal with a preference. It doesn't punish me like demanding does. Hey, my friend Granty Fishing is here, my new friend. How are you? If you guys haven't checked him out, Granty Fishing has a wonderful YouTube channel. He is sharing his love and his passion for fishing. Brian says, it's like the video I did on balance. Got to have a certain balance, not to react to ignorance. And if you see ignorance for what it is, people simply not knowing. How do you punish someone for not knowing? Why would you punish someone for ignorance? If they knew, if they could, they would be doing things differently. If they had a little more empathetic, if they felt the disturbance or the pain that they might cause someone else, they wouldn't do it anymore. But they don't feel that. Not yet. They haven't been broken open by life yet. Or maybe not enough yet. When they do, when they are, again, quoting Leonard Cohen, that's when the light gets in. And that's when we think, man, I don't want someone else to go through that. I don't want to make someone else feel bad. I just want to go through life and do what I can. Does it mean that I'm a saint, that I'm always a good person, that I don't snap or frown or whatever? No, it means I do my best from moment to moment to moment. That's what I see everyone here doing. Simply living your life, moment by moment, doing the best that you can, and doing your best for other people. Destiny says, iron sharpens iron. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Proverbs 27:17. Beautiful proverb. We rub up against each other's knowledge as we learn from each other and become wiser. And you know what? Sometimes that can be viewed in a way of negativity. The way we learn isn't always in the garden, you know? It's not always in ways that we would choose or ways that we want. but it's what life presents us. Grant Fishing says came from uh, Masha's channel, who is again Mayhem and Miracles. I've been mentioning her on and off in this uh, talk today. Really wonderful channel. I enjoyed my time over there today. And she's actually, I just clicked again, she is still talking. 2 hours. It amazes me because she's having a conversation for 2 hours, and it is all about just that conversation, opening up, helping people, um, helping people grow their own friendships, making connections. Let's see. We got some people saying hi to each other. It is what it is, says Indians were the truth. Destiny says, it's good to meet you, Granty Fishing. Hope you're doing great. Granty says, thank you for all the warm welcome. Definitely. Always appreciate having new friends stop by. Hey, everyone here, at one time, we were new friends, but now we've been having this ongoing dialogue. We have yet to solve a single world problem, but we do what we can for each other. Lewis says, iron sharpens iron. Beautifully said, Sister Destiny. Destiny has a way of finding the right proverb, the right words, the right line from all kinds of different sources at just the right time. Our friend Brian says, right, Lewis, they were here in ancient times. Odom's Homestead is here. Hey, just a Yogi doing burpees in his basement, and everyone listening in the bushes. Busy day. Appreciate that. Appreciate you being here, Odom. I hope, man, I really hope that you've gotten in some sunny days and spending some time. I know you're spending time in the garden regardless, but I hope you've gotten some sun. And I hope things are in that early spring stage exactly where you need them to be. Exactly where you want them to be. Granty Fishing says, I just wanted to pop in to show my support. I appreciate that, and a massive thumbs up. Really appreciate that. And I will be returning the favor as well, my friend. I stopped by and watched one of your videos earlier, and I will be back visiting for sure. I have my subscribe button on everything that you put out, so I will be seeing your content, which is important. It's good, always good to show support, to like and subscribe, share people out. And you might not like everything that people put out, so you might be selective. But at the same time, like with Granty, when I went to his channel, I saw that this is someone I want to see. I want to see everything that he puts out. I at least want to be notified that he's putting content out, so I get a chance to explore. I love beautiful scenery. I love seeing people joyfully participating with life and just loving what they do. It's why I love Odom's channel so much. People who are just out in nature, all of it. Everyone's saying hi to Odom. Granty Fishing says, thank you, man. You're welcome. For sure. Sorry, I'm distracted with a message from Mocha. And speaking of demands, a demanding cat that just popped up. So, Ken Keyes, the author, preferences over demands. Man, was that an important lesson for me. Everything changed. Number one was recognizing that I was making demands. What an eye opener. I never realized it. My entire life was one demand after another. The ego just saying, I want it this way, this way, this way, this way. And I always want it this way in every moment. Doesn't mean that I was, moping around when I didn't get my way, but I still had demands, and I was less than happy when those demands weren't met. To just upgrade it to a preference, everything gets lighter. The number one, the first noble truth, Buddhism. Life is suffering. Sometimes people don't even get to the second noble truth because who wants to be in a pessimistic religion or philosophy? Truly speaking, it's a psychology. But then the Buddha tells you why we suffer, why life is suffering, because we are addicted to our demands. We're addicted to our attachments. We are trying to hold things which were never meant to be grasped. Life is fluid and ever changing, and yet we want things to stay. When we're happy, we want to stay happy. When we're sad, we don't want to be sad any longer. We don't accept what is right now, which is the only way to go through life, because guess what? Things are as they are right now. Does that mean we shouldn't try to change them? Not at all. If we can change something to make life easier, change it. If we can't, accept it. And it's going to change anyway. Work with what you can, when you can. But always be in the present moment. First noble truth. First two noble truths of Buddha. Ken Keyes just cut right to the point. Have preferences over demands. But first, you got to examine your demands. That's, we were talking about ignorance before. In yogic and Buddhist psychology, it's called avidya, ignorance. Ignorance isn't saying that someone is uneducated or stupid or whatever. It's just saying they don't know. And worse, they don't know that they don't know. So you go through life without knowing. You go through life ignorant of the fact that you don't know. Yoga opens up the gate to knowing. It's different than knowledge. Knowledge can be acquired. Knowing, it's that knowingness is, I think the best way for me to liken it is when the first streak of light arrives at dawn. It's just there. You don't have to acquire light. You don't have to part the clouds. You don't have to chase the darkness away. That first hint of dawn shows up. And you go, the sun. It's always been there. I just didn't see it. That's vidya. Vidya being the opposite of avidya. Vidya is knowingness. Again, not knowledge. Knowledge is something someone gives us, or we read it in a book, we seek it out. Knowing is inherent. It's inherent in every cell. Our lungs know how to breathe. Our heart knows how to beat. Our blood knows how to flow. Our spleen knows how to, I don't know what the spleen does, but it knows. It knows to be a spleen. It does its spleen stuff. It doesn't need to go to spleen academy, spleen college, spleen high school to learn how to do what it does. It simply does. That's knowing. That's us. We know it all because we're doing it. Destiny says, blessings and love to you, Eric, and also to everyone in the chat. I truly appreciate everyone's expressions, feedback, and conversations. knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that is powerful. I agree 100%. Um, so, all right. I think this is a good time to actually to end it on the note of me talking about the spleen, as little as I know about it. Um, and it's actually been an hour-long conversation. Appreciate everyone being here. If you can, like, I'm sure everyone who visits is probably a subscriber, and I appreciate that. Feel free to share it out. Either way, I'm always told I'm supposed to say that, to like, subscribe, to share. So I try to get in the habit of saying it. I think in almost a year of going live, I've probably said it 5 times. I'll be back later today. I'll do my another live session where I read from my blog. Not sure what I want to read about, but the right thing will come up. Brian, if you're still here, remind me. And tomorrow or later, we'll talk about box breathing, and I'll do a quick demonstration on how to do box breathing. Destiny says, great discussion, Eric. Thanks for the fellowship. Thank you. It's a fellowship because of those who join in. And I truly, truly appreciate that. Everyone enjoy your day. Brian says, have a good day, everyone. Thanks, Eric, for the live. Thank you, guys. Thanks, you guys, for being here. Everyone. Odom, Lewis, Grantee Fishing, Brian, and Destiny, very much appreciate you all being here. And if you get a chance and you want to stop by, hear me read something live, come on by. Probably like 5:15 or so. And I'll see everyone later. Take care, guys.